Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gooner Gathering. Goonley Meads in the hosting position, as I should be, to talk about a really interesting game from Saturday night, Arsenal versus Newcastle. Of course, I have Posh Bertie with me, the poshest man in all sports and entertainment. How are you, sir? I stumbled across my lines there. I didn't mean to. How are you, sir?
Oh, no worries. I'm doing good. I apologise if I constantly look over here because I've got the Maidstone against Coventry on in the background in the FA Cup, where Coventry are currently winning 2-0. So as an Ebbsfleet fan, it's nice to see Maidstone get humbled for once. Anyway, I'm doing good, thank you.
It's good to have you here, Posh. And of course, joining us, representing Newcastle United, we have John Sinclair with us. Our debut on Gooner Gathering. How are you, John?
Good evening to you, Lee. Good evening to you, Bertie. Thank you so much for having us on your channel. It's been a while. It's been a long time. Fan here. And yes, I love going on Arsenal channels as well because I think they do talk a lot of sense as well. I'm not going to lie to you, but yet to be on here. And thank you very much for having us on from Newcastle perspective.
Honestly, John, I've wanted to have you on here for quite some time. You might remember us from way back in day on Cannon Chatter. I think one of my early streams, I think I might have been on with you way back in day. But yeah, really good to have you here. And yes, I'm in full working order. I've recovered a little bit from losing my voice, and I'm happy to see you all here. So what I want to do before I do anything else is make sure after we are done on our stream, I've put a link on our pinned comment on our YouTube channel. Make sure you see John's vlog. He was at the Emirates on Saturday. It was a fantastic video, and I've just been watching it just before we come on air. So make sure you all go and subscribe to John Sinclair TV. It's a fantastic channel, and yeah, a really, really good watch. Thank you. Gentlemen,
can I just give a shout out to our resident Northampton Town fan, Luke Chapman, who is a regular on our channel. Protest against it. Well, you won on the weekend. I actually had a look at what the Northampton score was before this video, in case Luke was in the chat, so I can say you beat Burton Albion, I believe, 2-0. So there you go. Anyway, shout out to you, Luke. Good to see you.
Yep, good to see you there, Luke, as well, mate. Right. Let's get into the main event, shall we? Let's talk about the game. A few things I think we'll talk. Let's go to John first because it's only fair as our guest. Of course, the big news coming out of the starting lineup, John, was of course changing goal for you, mate. We had Karius in goal. What were your thoughts on? Of course, it's emerged. Dubravka was ill. What are your thoughts with Karius coming in, mate?
You know what it is. I mean, he hasn't played for a year, Karius, and I do like him, and I think he deserved this chance on the day. And yeah, when I heard the team news, I thought my first reaction was I thought Martin was dropped, and then I quickly realised someone told us he was ill, and Karius got his chance. So obviously, it's good to see him in the side against a very, very tough side in Arsenal. Yeah, and I think to myself, he's going to be tested. And I believe also we're trying to target him as well, in my opinion. And boy, they did. To be fair, he makes a couple of fine saves. But for me, I mean, I can't blame for any of the goals. I mean, okay, the first one, he could have been more accurate, but he had no chance of the other goals as well. I mean, that's down to defence. Our defence has leaked in 24 goals now in 8 games. And last season, we hardly conceded the goals, yeah? We have conceded 14 goals when Nick Pope was there this season, right? And now he's out injured. And since he's been injured, the back has come in. We can see the 25 goals, something like that. So it's clear as day that the defence is a problem. But not only the defence, the midfield is a problem as well. We got no Joe Linton there. He's a huge miss, Lee. He's a bad miss. We need him back. But he's not there to the end of the season. So the midfield is not as strong without Joe Linton. We haven't got a 6. Eddie Howe doesn't play with number 6. That is the problem. Yeah, and he never did that at Bournemouth. He ain't gonna do it with Newcastle. Yeah, that is the bottom line, and it is so frustrating when you haven't got a 6, and that's most teams like Rodri and Man City. You got a Declan Rice there as well. You've got Bissouma at Tottenham. He's a good number 6 as well, a holding midfield as well. We ain't got that. And until we get a number 6 in to protect the back four and knows what they're doing, or get Joe Linton back or Tonali back, then we've got to continue to ship goals, unfortunately, yeah? Sven Botman, I'm a massive fan of Sven Botman, right? But he doesn't look right. He's still carrying an injury, and I believe it's a knee injury. He did not look right. He was awful on Saturday, and that's down to his injuries, yeah? He should not have played a game like this because, listen, I mean, I love Sven a bit, and this guy is a Rolls Royce. He is a Rolls Royce at the back. But for me, he needs an MOT and get that knee sorted out quickly until the end and get that right, and then come back fitter and better. We've got defensive cover. We've got Dan Burn, all right? Yes, he's a centre back, not a left back. Jamal Lascelles, since he's came in, he's done all right. Not good all right, he's. But at the end of the day, you cannot play when you're injured, and that's the sacrifice of Sven Botman. And Eddie Howe, I'm amazed why he hasn't recognised this. Do you know what I mean? Why play an injured player on that pitch? It doesn't work. And then everyone's big about Bruno Guimaraes. I love Bruno Guimaraes. I think he's a really good player. But on Saturday, I thought not just him. I thought they were all poor in the midfield. I mean, they all looked way off the pace. Sean Longstaff looked way off the pace, yeah? Lewis Miley wasn't in the game at all. It's only 17. I'm not going to have a go at him because he's only 17. And you know what? It'll get better. But the game passed him by. And Bruno wants to have too much time on the ball. And in fact, all our midfield got bodied by Declan Rice, Jorginho, who I'm a massive fan of, and also Trossard as well. But I tell you something now, and I will say this as well. We are 5 years behind you guys. We are not going to be like you at all whatsoever. But I blame the Premier League. I blame the FFP as well. We can't compete. We cannot spend any money. The owners haven't bought Newcastle United, right, to be mid-table. They're here to compete. So they like to spend money. But you have to, now, this FFP PSR's come in, we have to sell someone, which is totally unfair. And I'll tell you now, they are protecting the big six. That's all the Premier League is doing. They're protecting the big six.
Okay, that's a lot to digest for a first statement.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's still good,
No,
mate.
get out your system. I don't blame you.
This is what this is all about, isn't it? It's all about therapy. This is. I'm sure Bertie will agree with me. Just so big up to Richard Jeffries, who joined us in the chat. I believe first time caller. I believe he might be one of yours, John. So welcome and thank you for joining us. Let me throw it to Bertie and your thoughts about the Arsenal lineup. Of course, one change in, and it was a pretty much a game changing one for me. Jorginho in for Trossard.
This should have been the lineup against Porto, albeit Trossard up front for Havertz, but that was before Trossard didn't have the best of games against Porto, but that's by the by. Yeah, this was the lineup I think was quite sensible. Trossard didn't have the best of games against Porto. I think it was probably right for him to miss this one. Havertz up front is an interesting one. Obviously, yes, I know that he scored. We'll get to that. But I thought, okay, let's see how he goes here. Jorginho, look, a lot of Arsenal fans don't like the idea of Jorginho, but you know what? When he turns up against Liverpool, against Newcastle, he was one of our best players. And rather annoyingly, I had a very good photo that I created that I was going to put in the back end. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah.
Bertie, let me put you full screen on that, mate.
Oh, I just got rid of it.
Hello, Soph. I see you there, mate. Going to Gossip TV in the house.
Okay. Well, look, I thought Jorginho was my man of the match for me. He had one of his best performances. I think his best performance since he started playing for Arsenal, and as did another person who I think we'll get to in a minute. And I think what I'm about to say will send shockwaves around the Gooner Gathering YouTube sphere.
Excellent. I shall look forward to that. one thing I will bring up with us as well, I thought our bench looked a lot more stronger than it had been. Of course, we had Jesus back on the bench. Of course, he wasn't used. And of course, Fabio Vieira, every Arsenal fan's favourite Portuguese player, was back in the squad as well. Let's get into it. I thought Arsenal started the game very brightly and a lot of intent, a lot of intensity going on. John, you were there, mate. What did you think of the way Arsenal started? And before the scoring started, you could even see, I think from a TV audience point of view, this was a very different Arsenal side to the one that played Porto on Wednesday.
100%. I mean, look, we know Arsenal are a fantastic side, and big up to Arsenal as well. And they started so fast because they called after 45 seconds, and then we just didn't get into the game at all whatsoever. I mean, we looked devoid of ideas. Players looked completely lost. Our back four was absolutely shocking. Even Kieran Trippier. I mean, you know what? He played in big games, right? And I expect a lot more from this guy. And Martinelli had him on toast, and he couldn't even get forward either, because at times I think he looked scared of going forward because he knew if he get caught, Martinelli had him the bits. I mean, number 29, I'm not going to mention full name, 29, I mean, for me, had his best game for the club.
He's calling him number 29 as well.
You know what, John? I couldn't agree with you more when it came to Havertz. Now, this may come as a bit of a surprise to some people.
I don't rate the guy, but I tell you what, he was good. I mean, we made him look like prime Maradona on Saturday, you know. We really did. And
all right, hang on a minute. This may come as a surprise to everyone, but I'm not exactly Kai Havertz's biggest fan. You know what? I know, shocking, right? On Saturday, I thought he was excellent. I thought he had his best performance since he put on the Arsenal shirt. Hello, Mile High Hotspur in the chat. Good to see you. But yeah,
great to see you back with us again, mate. Thank you.
Played his best game for us on Saturday, and I will happily say that. I give credit where it's due, and he did very well.
Outright number 9 on Saturday, which I found quite interesting, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. Let's get into the first goal, shall we?
I'm frozen, mate. I think I'm frozen.
We'll just let it go, John. We'll let it go.
We can hear you.
It is right. If I go blank, I'll go back in. So we'll just keep it there in a minute.
No worries, John. It's absolutely fine. We can see your lovely face on there. It's absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Bertie, let's if John wants to try and sort out his technical issues, we'll talk about the first goal, and then I'll get to John in just a second.
Cool.
Opening goal, I don't think was a real surprise coming from a set play. We've spoken about quite regularly, haven't we? That we've all of a sudden we've become the set piece specialists, and from this one, Saka's corner found Gabriel, and through a little bit of goal line technology and ball coming off Botman, it ended up as an own goal. What did you think?
A bit of a controversy involving Gabriel against Newcastle. Who'd have thunk it?
Fancy that, eh?
First of all, AFC always. That first half was the best performance. The intensity levels were outstanding.
Yeah.
I think our best first half performance was against West Ham, but I'm not taking anything away from what happened against Newcastle in the first half.
Bertie, I think that was better. I think Saturday was better than West Ham. Honestly.
Okay, yeah, it was. And I think even John might agree with me there. I think it was absolute Arsenal domination in the first half. But another set piece goal. Gabriel. It went in as an own goal, didn't it? It did. Not Gabriel.
Saka's corner headed from Gabriel, and as much as I thought Karius was really great on the line, actually. He did everything he could have tried to get it away. It sort of just hit Botman and sort of bobbled in. I would say Newcastle were very, very unfortunate on that goal. Let's chuck it to John. What did you think, mate?
Like you said, the goals coming all the time from the first minute, and it was always going to come. And when it did, the corner came from the right hand side. It was headed in. I think it's Odegaard, and it went straight to. Was it Odegaard got the first in it? I couldn't see, but I know.
Well, it was Saka's corner and Gabriel header.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, Gabriel, and it went straight to Karius, and it went over the line. I mean, I couldn't see if it was over the line or not, but when it went over the line, Newcastle fans said that the ball was never over the line. Could have checked out VAR, and the goal was given. And let's be real, VAR or not, the goal's been coming. It has been coming because let's be real. I mean, I was shocked because Arsenal was all over us. We just couldn't get going at all whatsoever. And this is the problem. I mean, this is Eddie needs to work out. He could have played 3 at the back for the first time, play 3-4-3 or even 5 at the back, and then let's go from there just to content with you guys. But it doesn't matter if we play 5 at the back, 3 at the back. The result wouldn't matter because Arsenal's well up for that game. I mean, they were quick going forward. They pressed us for the off. We just couldn't. We just didn't know where to go. We didn't know where to start. And this is the problem. Our back 4, we haven't got the quickest defense. We look slow. We got a slow defense, but we need someone with bit of pace. And that is the thing. We ain't got pace at the back. And this is why we got absolutely given a run around in the first half. And I'll be honest now, that is the worst first half performance I've seen for an Eddie side.
Yeah, I agree with that. And when you're going against the pace of someone like Martinelli and Saka, it's going to make for a very, very long evening. I would say that much. So bringing up the comment we just said, comical defending from Newcastle for the first goal from AFC Always. Sophie asks about your thoughts on Botman's performance as a general, I think.
Sven Botman, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Sven Botman. I mean, we call him Rolls Royce at the back. Yeah. Last season, he was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But this season, I mean, we said it's a Rolls Royce. The problem is the Rolls Royce seriously needs an MOT because he's playing with a knee injury at the minute. Yeah. He does not look right at all whatsoever. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Well, whether it is sort of thing, like, says I've run out of petrol, it just needs an MOT. But I love Sven Botman. I'm a big Sven Botman fan.
Good player.
He does not look right. I mean, I think his knee's still troubling him. He's not as confident as he has been. And I tell you what, he just failed to keep up with the pace of your front 3. And Sven Botman will come back, no doubt about it. But for me, I think he needs to rest and get that knee sorted out because if he doesn't, then he could be crocked. And I don't want it for him. You know what I mean? But we got defensive cover, Dan Burn, Jamal Lascelles. Let's be real. I mean, I'm just disappointed. It's not just Sven Botman. I'm disappointed with the whole people. I mean, the midfield was weak. They offered no defense, no protection for the defense. And that is where the problem is. Because every time they came forward, we looked in 6s and 7s. I mean, Bruno is scared of getting another booking. I wouldn't get him a 2-game ban. I don't think he's been the same player. You know what I mean? I know Newcastle fans are going to disagree with what I'm saying, but I just judge from in front of my own eyes, yeah? But I like him. I think he'll come good. But on the day, I think your midfield was fantastic. Jorginho, I love Jorginho. That guy, I watched his fathers progress when he's at Napoli and Verona. Or Hellas Verona, so I love this player. He is so calm. I mean, a lot of people said that, why are you signing him for? Blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I can see why Mikel signed him. I can exactly see why he signed him for experience. He signed him for calmness and the know-how as well.
Thank you very much, John. No, I said exactly the same thing. When a lot of people, a lot of Arsenal fans, certainly maybe my colleagues here on Gooner Gathering might have disagreed with me a little bit. I thought it made a lot of sense. And all of a sudden, I believe it was 12 million quid. All of a sudden looks like loose change, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I just says that it is. I says that I see it, and it comes. And you know what? I think he's out of contract at the end of the season, and I think he'll probably end up staying another year. I think he's a really good player. I mean, look, he may not be everyone's favourite everyone's favourite, but for me, I'm a big fan of this guy, and look, and I'll just go for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe Fabrizio Romano reported not too long ago. I did a little short video about this. That is expected to sign an extension on his contract. I think makes an awful lot of sense because he's been fantastic, especially in the big games. Bertie, what do you think? Obviously, with Jorginho, he's had phenomenal performances against Champions League worthy opponents in Liverpool and Newcastle. Just generally your thoughts on this before we get back to the goals.
As I mentioned, Jorginho was my man of the match on Saturday. And yeah, majority of the time, I thought Jorginho has actually done quite well for us in his role anyway, knows what he's doing. I think when we signed him, I thought, bit of a strange kind of addition. I mean, for squad depth purposes, I guess. But you know what? Overall, yes, I know there was a moment where he gave the ball away against Tottenham, which I didn't like him that much for that. But aside from that, he's done well. He did very well against Newcastle and he played well against Liverpool. So he's in good form at the moment. AFC always says, John, I will swap you Jorginho for Isak.
Nah.
It's so funny, Posh, listening to you. And then there's a few others as well. Always go back to a one misplaced pass against Tottenham and hold a grudge. I mean, I don't see people firing a gun.
You can't make those mistakes against them lot. That's saying if a Newcastle player gives the ball away against Sunderland, that's what it's like.
I don't see people holding a gun to Lee Dixon when he gave the ball away to Ryan Giggs back in.
Because I wasn't around back then.
I can remember that, giving the ball away, and then Ryan did that amazing little run for the goal, and then the fans still had to go and bar away because he's a legend at the club.
Yeah, fun story about that game, John. I was working that night. I literally ran about 1.5 miles my living room to see Giggs. Brilliant timing.
Brilliant timing, but at the wrong net. Bless you.
Let's go back because I know the comments are flying in tonight, and thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Let's just make sure we say this. So, AFC always saying, I thought, let me make sure that comes up. I thought Kivior would have had his hands full against Almiron. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought he did run in the game. Wasn't in the game.
And Kivior for me is improving game by game. Bertie, what do you think on Kivior?
When he started playing in a left-back position, particularly against Fulham and against Liverpool in the FA Cup, I did not think he was a good left-back at all. But since the West Ham game, he's suddenly developed as a left-back, and I think he's done very well there. I still think, though, he is a better centre-back than he is a left-back. I'm not comparing the two, but he's a bit like Dan Burn. He's a better centre-back than he is a left-back. Also, when it comes to being a left back, pace wise, it's a bit of an issue as well. Look, but other than that, Kivior actually, from the West Ham game onwards, has done really well. Maybe not in the Porto game, but in the Premier League anyway, did well at left back. And I'm preparing to give him a lot of credit because I think he's played very well. And I thought, and much like AFC always, Kivior against Almiron. It'll be a tough battle for Kivior, but you know what? He did well there.
He did very well. Just want to catch up on the chat, and Katie Dog just asking John if you're coming up to Wolverhampton game on Saturday at St James's Park.
Big up to Kate and Jonathan, and yes, I will be up on Saturday, and I'll be doing my match day vlogs as well.
Fantastic. Your vlogs are always phenomenal, John. So, look forward to seeing that. Let's just see what this one is. Richard Jeffries. Let me just see that. We all laughed after you scored against Villa away last year.
I think you'll find it was an Emi Martinez own goal, though.
It was, but we'll take it, right? We'll take it. Have I missed something? No, I think we're all good. I think we're all good.
No, Kate is saying Isak's not for sale, so Arsenal can't have him.
Well, it's funny, we mentioned him, didn't we? We mentioned him in January.
You did. You did.
I said he fit us quite well, but I'll go for Tony instead.
It'll be interesting to see our transfer options in the summer window. That is for sure. Let's get into the second goal, shall we? Yeah. This one came from Martinelli switching sides, going on to the right-hand side. Actually, no, I should bring it back a little bit, 2 seconds, because I think Jorginho played the pass to it. Now, it's probably quite important to say that, because Jorginho all of a sudden became Pirlo. Played the pass to Martinelli. It was quite a nice little square pass. Havertz was composed and put the ball in the net. Bertie, let's go to you.
Going to me first when mentioning Havertz. Do you know what the goal was similar to? Our first goal against Sevilla. Lovely through ball from Jorginho. Saka to square it, and it was Trossard at the time. 1-0. Very similar goal. Saka, it was Saka who got the assist. And Havertz, I mean, simple tap in, 2-0. And you know what? Havertz deserved that goal, because overall in the game, and I can't believe I'm saying this, that was his best performance so far this season. And 2-0. Good on him. I think he deserved that goal. I know that he could have scored a second. He could have scored a second, which was unfortunate.
Right in the start of the second half. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. Goodness me, the comments are going quick tonight. Bertie, what did I say to you in the chat? Thought it'd be a busy one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Kate Dag says, if Isak leaves, we can have Saka. I don't know about that.
In the word of Stone's goal, Steve Austin.
AFC
always saying Evan Ferguson is on the shortlist for the Arsenal number 9 striker shirt. Let's take it to John. What do you think on Ferguson, Brighton?
I tell you what, I take Ferguson all day long. This guy is such a talent. He is such a talent. I mean, look, he's one of the best young players in the Premier League. I mean, unfortunately, he scored a hat-trick against us early in the season, and the goals conceded. I mean, it was Pope from skirmed it to him. And then the second goal, I mean, the ball was given away in the midfield, and he ran 30 yards with the bar. The defense just backed away, and he scored from it. And the third goal is just an easy goal. But I tell you what, I'd love to have even Ferguson here. No problems at all. But I think he's a really, really good striker. But I think he's going to go to Chelsea in a couple of years' time.
Well, that'll be an interesting one. See if he could get another 7-year contract and see how he goes on from there. I know they're not allowed to do that anymore. It's a joke. So, Bertie, your thoughts on that one, mate, on Ferguson?
I think he's a very good player. I wouldn't. Obviously, I know we're scoring a lot of goals at the moment, but I still think that we're lacking that clinical striker to get us over the line to win silverware. That's the problem. But yeah, you're not wrong, Kate.
Money, loads of money.
Everybody's got a price. AFC always says, John. What about Jorginho and Nketiah for Isak?
It should be Eddie Nketiah. It should be Eddie Nketiah. Nah.
Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Eddie has his moments. He's our world-class number 9. You all know it.
Hey! You'd be happy to swap Isak, wouldn't you, for Jorginho and then Nketiah? Nah.
Okay.
Nah, not for me, but thank you.
It's all right. It's a good bit of negotiation. We like it. You're getting a bit of a laugh from AFC always as well. So that's all good. Right. Bertie's already mentioned the Havertz big miss on the start of the second half. All came from a counter attack, didn't it? It was a big miss 1-on-1, but he went at.
Yeah, I think it was unfortunate that Havertz missed that because it was pretty much a 1-on-1 chance. He's not really been that good when it comes to 1-on-1s. Is Havertz. But some of the other stuff he's done in the game, it's not. I'm not too distressed about it, so I'm not going to spout the anti-Havertz agenda today because he performed very well for us overall. So,
and the only reason you're saying that is because we won.
No,
right?
when we lost to Villa, I said Havertz was our best player.
True.
If you remember.
Do you know what? I watched that clip before we went on air tonight, mate. So yes, you are right.
I know you're trying to gotcha me, but it ain't working today, sir.
I wouldn't dare do that to you, Bill Posh. Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. Only fair, John, that we do mention that Newcastle, I did feel, came back into the game in the second half. And through the counter-attack from Livramento, and Gordon tested Raya for the first time. Your thoughts on how Newcastle started the second half? I thought they were much better.
I agree. I mean, we're much better. I mean, I thought Isak before that should have scored. I mean, he tried to grind the keeper. My opinion is, I was behind that. Why did he just hit it first time? If he hits it first time, then he could have forced the keeper into the save. But the chance was gone, and I think he probably realised it. And he also had another chance as well with Isak playing on the left-hand side. He cut inside, and he rifled one just over the bar. It didn't come down enough. And that's as good as he's got. And after that, I mean, you don't take your chances away.
Was my next note on the notepad.
Hey. But, I'll beat you to the punch. But bless you.
You did. No, that's good. That's good.
Know what it is, right? But, and you know what happened after that. You don't take your chances, you're going to get punished for it. And that's exactly what happened when Isak came. Not Isak, when Saka scored.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of a sudden, for me, Saka almost transformed into Lionel Messi the way he performed up that right wing. Yeah. And not wishing to kick Botman a little bit more, but he did give the ball away to Havertz after a bit of play from Ødegaard, who flicked it off to Rice, and Havertz involved again. And all of a sudden, Saka just danced his way through on that right-hand side, and he put the ball past the goalkeeper. Bertie, that was a thing of beauty, wasn't it?
It was incredible. I think I said a big portion of the 2023 part of the 2023-24 season, I said we've not been seeing the same Saka that we can see. He's not the star boy, hasn't been star boying as much. We'll get to that comment in a minute, Richard. But ever since the start of the year, I think he's been coming into his own now. I think we're seeing the Saka that we know we can see. And that goal against Newcastle is proof of that. And even you got rival fans saying, you know what, fair play, Saka, that was world class. And yeah, Saka turning up this time, which is fantastic. Yeah, well done to him.
Ask you a question, guys. Do you think Saka's world class?
I think he's on his way to becoming world class.
Yeah, he's not there yet. He's not there yet, but he can be. He's still young, let's not forget. I know that he's been playing a lot for us, but he's younger than me. So, let's.
Yeah.
I think he can.
Strangely younger than me as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he's on his way to be. And what I mean by that is that I kind of understand Rio Ferdinand's kind of point about if you're going to become world class, you have to be picking up the trophies and the big trophies. I think he's well on the way to becoming that, and if it's not right now, I think it's getting there. I think he's getting there. I for me think the future for Arsenal is looking very bright indeed. And for Bukayo Saka, we have mentioned it, Posh, haven't we? That it doesn't. He hasn't quite hit fifth gear over the season, despite the stats saying otherwise. Well, in fact, that is his fifth goal in 5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't mean, when I say turn up this time, I didn't mean it like that. I was thinking of his like bad run of form, like against Liverpool in the FA Cup in like December. But he's now returning to what we know he can be, and long may that continue. Havertz has been a solid signing. Look, he had a good run of form in December, and then he went back to normal. And now, from ever since Burnley game, he's doing well again. So I'm going to give credit where it's due. Havertz against it's Newcastle, not Newcastle. Don't talk posh. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
I like
He's
Kate.
the
I like
poshest man in
Kate.
sports at the time, boys and girls.
It's a bit of fun. Kate looks like a bit of fun. She's a big Newcastle fan. She's always on my channel. And you know what? I mean, Kate and Jonathan are good guys, and they really are.
I'm doing my utmost not to do a Newcastle accent because I want to be really polite.
I was about to say that.
But
Anyway.
So let's keep it moving forward. I thought Newcastle looked like they were coming back into the game about this sort of stage, and I thought a change was probably needed. The change that Arteta did make, Posh, was Trossard coming on for Martinelli. Not that Martinelli did anything wrong. I thought he had a phenomenal 60, 70 odd minutes, but maybe a little bit more control in the play, a little bit of a tactical switch around as well.
It's like last season I used to call it the token substitution. I even tweeted, I remember last season, we're 5 minutes away from Martinelli on for Trossard. It's our predictable substitution. But when you've got two good players that can play in that position, that's the squad depth I'm looking for. You know, Martinelli and Trossard. So you got good players that can play in that position. And yeah, Trossard coming on. I'm a big fan of Trossard usually. So yeah, good to see him play. AFC always saying Foden is a better footballer than Saka. The problem is Saka hasn't got anyone to compete with at Arsenal, where Foden does at Man City. I mean, there's talk about Saka getting, run into the ground. And whilst I do like Reece Nelson, he's not like a competitive backup for Saka, isn't he?
That's fair.
Yeah. I do think, I think Foden is a better footballer than Saka, in my opinion. But Saka is going to hopefully can get to that world-class level in the future. Anyway, enough about Saka. Trossard, yes, he came on and, thought he did quite well. That's all I can say there.
And it was his work from Trossard that won the corner, which led to the fourth goal for Arsenal. Declan Rice on this corner flicked on unlikely goal scoring. Kivior made it 4-0, John, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, there's another soft goal from another set piece on the left-hand side. You just mentioned there, Declan at the corner. Kivior headed it on. Well, it came off from Lewis Miley and then headed it on. And despite Carr's best efforts, they went in the back of the net, 4-0, damage limitation. And you know what? Arsenal won it. I'll be honest with you, Arsenal won the game from the kickoff. And do you know what? It's just another defensive error yet again. And it's just so frustrating. Yes, Arsenal are a cracking side. They're a good team. I think they're a world-class team. But we just wasn't good enough. And like I said, we're on a journey, we're on a project, and it'll be our time one day. And bottom third, so this FFP, like I said earlier, has killed us. However, you just got to take your hat off to Arsenal. They were superb all night. Again, soft goal. If you look at all the goals conceded, they were all goals which could be prevented, but we just haven't defended properly. It's as simple as that. If you don't defend properly, you don't win games.
This would not have been. It would not have been 4-1 against the Newcastle of last season. You know, I can
Definitely
agree
not.
with you on that.
Yeah.
We did. Do you remember, Lee? We did a watch along of the 0-0 at the Emirates, and I said it was one of the most stressful games that I watched. Yeah.
The thing is, I don't want to see my team play low block. I don't, because Eddie Howe is not a low block manager. He's an attacking manager. Yeah, and
you've played attacking football in the past, and you're good at it.
We are, and I just don't understand why we just continue. Do you know what I mean? Just play to your strengths. Don't play to their strengths. Play to your strengths. Do you know what I mean? That's how you're gonna win. You're gonna get plaudits all over the world, over the Premier League, and to play like that, they're gonna think, why does he change it? Why is he playing low block? I don't want people calling us on an unambitious side. You know what I mean? Playing for a point. Yeah, we could do better than that. I'd rather lose having a good go rather than sitting back and lose the game. But seeing that, this is the problem. Yeah, I mean, AFC always, like, see 62 goals in the league, 1 goal behind Liverpool. But I tell you what, right, this is the problem, is our defence. We have conceded 24, 28 goals this season since Nick Pope's been injured. Then with Nick Pope and goal, 14 conceded. That's the problem. Do the defence trust the backer? Obviously not. I think it's the defence that are leaky. The midfield, they got no protection. The defence got no protection in the midfield. We missed Joe Linton. And it needs to be rectified in summer. We need to get this guy on a new deal. If he doesn't sign, then and he goes, we're in big trouble. We need to get someone better than Joe Linton, but I'd rather keep Joe.
I don't think it can be underestimated as well, the importance of Nick Pope being out injured as well. Absolute world-class goalkeeper. He, as a shot stopper, as an old-fashioned goalkeeper, if you want, I think he's levels above certainly what Dubravka has been. I think with Dubravka coming in, for doing my research earlier on today, he's only had 1 clean sheet in the games that he's played 90 minutes with in his time back into the side. And this is after his spell at Man United as well, of course. And
that's the problem.
That speaks volumes, doesn't it, John?
It tells its own story. It tells its own story, yeah? But as Newcastle fans, Lee, we're not allowed to have an opinion. We're not allowed to be negative. We're not allowed to call players out. And we're certainly not allowed to say, like, you know, where the problem lies. Otherwise, you get a pile-on. There's a tweet today, right, from my guy, Adam Pearson, right? He did it yesterday, saying that we conceded, 20 goals. We couldn't beat Luton at home and away. We lost at home to Forest. We only put a point against Bournemouth. And he said it's simply not good enough. And guess what? He had a pile-on for Newcastle fans because it was just, they think it's been negative and he was just being called out for saying it. Adam's got an opinion like everybody else. Simple as that. Yeah. Now, if I said that,
it happens with Arsenal fans. Like it's almost like some weird cult following that if someone is negative towards, like, you know, I think I criticised Edu last season for not doing enough. Well, funnily enough, not doing enough business in January, even though Trossard and Jorginho, yes, in hindsight, were good signings, but I got I got constant replies on Twitter saying, "What are you on about?" And I was like, "Oh, for God's sake!" Like, it happens. Like it's having an opinion, and I you know, Lee sometimes through gritted teeth respects my opinion, and I respect Lee's opinion when he says that Nketiah is amazing. So it's called having an opinion. You got to do it.
Exactly. But the thing is, right, I mean, our fan base, right, I mean, some fans can be, it's so toxic. It really is. Like, there are also good Toon fans there, let's be real, right? But it's like, I'll tell you a story, right, quickly. I know you got to talk about the few. I mean, a couple months ago, I went to Chelsea, right? People call me a fake fan, right? Call us a fake fan, right? And I thought to myself, you know what, if he doesn't shut his mouth, then I'll do something about it, right? And then that very same guy on Saturday, guess what? He apologized to us. He apologized to us. He said it was wrong. He was out of order. We shook hands on it. Called me a fake fan. Thinks I was a Newcastle fan after the takeover, right? And you know what? He didn't know my history. He didn't know who I was. Now he does. Because you know why? Because I told him I watched Newcastle when Chris Hughton was there, Rafael Benitez was there. Yeah. So I'm a fan. Like everybody else.
John, I've known about you're doing your stuff from way back when I was on the other channel, mate. And yeah, honestly, it does make me laugh sometimes. The criticism we get as a YouTube on a YouTube platform. This is what I think. I think this platform is all about fans giving their own opinion, like we say on our channel. Strangely, me and my co-host, right, we don't always agree on everything. I actually think it makes it quite interesting as a dynamic between the two of us, that we don't always agree. Sometimes he might go beyond the line that I'd like him to, but sometimes he's as good as gold, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
it's all about opinions. It's all about, you can't agree with the same thing all the time. It'll get boring. It's nice to have different opinions, like, you know. At the end of the day, right? I mean, I know some people, I think the young breed of fans, right? Or some of the young breed of fans, after the takeover, thinking they're super fans, right? They want Eddie Howe to be sacked. They want to get a new manager in. They want to win things. But we are a project, yeah? We are on a journey, yeah? Yes, we've got Champions League in the first season, Eddie's first season, yeah? But I think we peaked too early, yeah? It's a slow progress, but we got caught out because we haven't got a big enough squad, yeah? And now they're going to learn from that. So if we get in Europe again this season, we know what's going to happen, yeah? We need to get a bigger squad, simple as that. But unfortunately, we'd love to spend millions, yeah? But we just cannot. But that's the bottom line. But all I'm saying is, right, back on opinions, right? I mean, like I said, YouTubers, right? YouTuber haters, yeah? Especially on our fan base, yeah? I just take no notice, yeah? I did know my history. They don't know what I'm doing. Simple as that. So I'm a fan first, YouTuber second.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Let's
I'm
try and sort of catch up a little bit on the chat, because it is going a bit wild.
Yeah. Imagine if it all came down to goal difference for the Premier League title. That would be crazy. Can you imagine if Kai Havertz does an Aguero versus QPR?
Just bringing up Kate's comment, onwards and upwards for Toonami. Blackburn Rovers tomorrow night in the FA Cup, and then Newcastle back to winning ways on Saturday versus Wolves. We'll get all into the what's next for Newcastle in just a minute. AFC always, excuse me, the voice is cracking again. Justin Mampape will have dinner with Emmanuel Macron and
Emir of Qatar
on Tuesday evening. Was invited to the French, invited by the French president. Could be going to the Saudi instead of Real Madrid. Well,
wow, he'd be off to Madrid, man. It'd be around Madrid. No questions about that.
Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? I mean,
done deal, man. Done deal.
There you go.
He's been linked with them for about 5 years.
I mean, it's going to be right on one of the transfer windows, surely.
Yeah. Well, he ain't going to Arsenal, that's for sure. So some of our fans can
we don't need him.
Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. That's what I'm going to say there.
Ain't gonna happen.
We have H with us. I presume it's H from Steps.
Yeah, it is.
Hi, John. I'm a fan from Saudi Arabia. And I saw you on the local Saudi sports journalist channel. Wow.
The only one I've been on is our lead. That's the only guy I speak to from Saudi, yeah. But I don't think local sports. I don't think I have. But it's our lead, and he's from Saudi, and I've spoken to him a few times. So a sports journalist channel, I don't think I've been on the sports journalist channel as our lead, and ignore that one.
Okay, all right. Well, moving swiftly on. Moving swiftly on, because we mentioned about goal difference. Well, let's talk about a Hale End boy who's got on the score sheet for Newcastle. It was Joe Willock, who's had an horrendous time injury-wise, John. Managed to get on the score sheet. My voice is starting to crack. I might ask Bertie to describe the goal, if you will, please, sir, because I'm going to have to cough.
Yeah, it was a quick counter-attack from Newcastle, and Joe Willock, a man who's no stranger to Arsenal, scored a consolation goal. It's a bit unfortunate for us that we didn't get a clean sheet, but I think that's just me nitpicking. Overall, it was a great performance from us. And of all the players to score for Newcastle against us, I'm really, of course, it had to be former Arsenal academy player and first team player for quite a bit, Joe Willock, which I thought maybe that's what, maybe we let him score because, you know, to give him a moment at the Emirates. But no, I think it was good. It was good from Willock to get the consolation goal. And I wonder if there would have been enough time to replicate another Arsenal versus Newcastle match where the late great Cheek Tiote.
Never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
No, a bit too late. But no, it was a consolation goal, and I'm pleased that it was Willock, you know, because, you know, Hail End Boy and all that.
Yeah,
and it didn't make an impact, so that's why I was pleased.
Yeah, too little, too late, man. But
Yeah.
listen, it's good to see Joe back on the grass, back on the pitch. Yeah, after a long layoff. Yeah, great to see him back, and he looked really good. And I hope he gets a game tomorrow against Blackburn. I hope he starts tomorrow against Blackburn, by the way. And if he does, then we've got a good chance of winning that game. I was fully expect us to beat Blackburn anyway. However, yeah, it's good to see Joe win it back in. Big miss for us, by the way. Very important to our player for our club. And yeah, let's hope he just survives an injury.
Fair enough. So yeah, that was the completion of the scoring. Yeah, the only thing I have left to talk about in this match really was Emil Smith-Rowe coming on the pitch, had a rather big chance. Also, sort of another substitute, Nelson, was on the right hand side, coming on for Saka. He tried to find Nketiah. All of a sudden, after a couple of bounces around the pitch, it did fall to ESR, and Dan Burn did get the ball off the line. So could have been 5-1. It wasn't. That was the end of the scoring.
So unfortunate. With the moment we get a Smith-Rowe goal, I'm gonna be going crazy. You know, if we win, anyway, we don't want a Joe Willock style consolation goal for Smith-Rowe. We want him to get like a winning goal. You know, we want him to that and then I'll be going absolutely crazy about him because I love Smith-Rowe and I want him to stay. Yeah.
It's nice to have him back off. Similar to Joe Willock, actually, after injury after injury. So it was nice to see him getting back. I think Katie wants to have Smith-Rowe over at St James's.
No, like I said, you can have Nketiah, you can't have Smith-Rowe.
Nketiah. Nah. I think it's a lot of injuries for him, by the way. A lot of injury problems he had in the past. But I think I honestly think that if he's match fit, sort of thing, you never know. But he's a talented lad, and he's a really good player when he's fit. But at this moment in time, you know, he needs to run the games to you guys first.
Yeah, fair enough. H hearing a lot of rumours about Smith-Rowe to Newcastle. Apologies, Kate, not Katie. So saying hope City wins the league, not Newcastle. Well,
not Arsenal.
No,
we're never going to win the league. Not with that squad who won. What we need, if you're going to ever going to win the title, we got to spend the money. But at the end of the day, we can only spend what we've got. We can't spend. And this is the thing. Like Christian Purcell made a good point saying that we're not here to make the numbers up. We haven't bought the club to finish mid-table. We're here to compete with the top clubs as well. Do you know what I mean? But do you know what it is, right? I mean, it's going to come to a point now where you can say spend 200 mil, right, and just take the 10 points. It'll come to that one day.
Well, it's interesting you say that after Everton's point deduction was reduced earlier on today, wasn't it?
But Everton, yeah, it was from 10 to 6 points, yeah. But the one that's going to be interesting, guys, is how Man City's going to do. Because I tell you what, all eyes will be on that. Now,
Yeah.
Man City is appointed the best lawyers in the world to take on the case, right?
Yeah.
And I've
That's what I
heard
was
people
saying,
say,
it's- yeah.
I heard people say they're going to win it. I heard they're going to win it. Because I tell you what, if Man City wins that case, right, I tell you what, this FFP, PSR should be scrapped to decease. Scrapped to exist. Because Man City is going to go all the way on this one. 115 charges there. Are they going to win it?
I would hope not.
We'll have to see what happens. No, knowing City, they'll probably get given the all clear, but we'll see what we'll see. It's a case of wait and see because there's a lot of like, won't it, will it?
Legal anglings as well, which you kind of mentioned.
Yeah,
It could run and run in my opinion. This one with City and indeed with Chelsea as well. Lots of stuff going on there. H thinking Liverpool will win the Premier League title, I presume, after their performance yesterday against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, Chelsea
Bertie,
was.
I'm sure you've got something to say about the Liverpool players that might have been involved in it.
Well, I mean, I think Gary Neville said it best. Klopp's kids against the £1 billion bottle jobs. Look, I think Liverpool and even Arsenal at the moment are playing better football than Man City at the moment. But that, playing good football doesn't mean you're going to win silverware. That's what's going to make the difference. But who knows who's going to win the league, because the title race is, oh my word, it's heating up. It's very exciting at the moment, and each team has got to step up when it comes to them playing.
So what I wanted to give you every chance to say was something that I saw you put on Twitter, and I'm trying to find it now.
Oh, the academy players, yeah. I mean, look, it is a lottery when picking, trusting your academy when playing in an important game. You don't know how well they're going to do, but you've seen how Liverpool have done well with Conor Bradley, Man United with Kobbie Mainoo, I think his name is, and we've seen a lot of, even you could argue Cole Palmer as well came from an academy. So, if you put a bit of faith in your academy, it could make a good difference. We've seen it, like I said, with Liverpool and United, and it's just an idea. Usually Arsenal are quite good with these things, but Arteta, apart from giving Wanyeri just a couple of minutes, he gave him a good amount of time against West Ham. We were 6-0 up, I guess. But overall, he doesn't like playing, youth players. In the PSV game in the Champions League, that game was a dead rubber, right? It was basically a glorified friendly. He didn't give any of the players, like the young players, a chance there. When we were 6-0 up against Lons, that could have been a great moment, but I don't know. Lewis Miley as well. That's another good shout.
I was just about to mention him.
He
come into the Newcastle side and he's done phenomenally well. John, you give us your thoughts on Lewis Smiley, please.
Lewis Smiley, he is such a talent. He really is. 17 years old, right? 6'2", 6'3". He is so calm. It's like Jorginho, so calm on the ball, right? So calm on the ball. His passing ability is great. He keeps things simple, right? And you know what? Okay, he had the best of games on Saturday. I can't lie. But at the end of the day, right? I mean, I'm not going to overhype him about this guy. I'm not going to overhype him, yeah? And he will be a world-class player, but not just yet. But at the end of the day, for what I seen of him, he's been absolutely fantastic for the club. And you know what? I mean, Eddie found him, and he's in the team. Now, I'll get a lot of people saying that if we didn't have much injuries, like Tonali getting a ban from betting, Joe Linton out for the season, yeah, then Lewis Miley would not have got a look in. But he's coming, and he's done fantastic. I agree with Hitch as well. Potential's there, the ability is there, the technical ability is there. he's going to be a long way. He's going to come a long way. This guy looks quality on the ball, and so young lad, 17-year-old, doesn't faze him at all whatsoever. But you know what? It's just going to get better and better and better.
Okay, so I'll thank you, Bertie, for bringing the comment up. Look at Klopp. It says AFC always. He really trusts his younger players, where Arteta doesn't. Now, are we aware that the Arsenal under-21s don't actually play in the highest league in youth football? Do we know that they actually lost their last game 3-0 away to West Bromwich Albion? Do we know that they're not actually doing that great at the moment, whether that's through anything behind the scenes or whatever? If a younger player is good enough, they will come through and they will go and they'll get picked. And we mentioned Ethan Nwari, who's 16 years old, by the way, or 17, if that, right? If we get a chance to see him in time, just because we know a guy's name doesn't mean he's going to come out and all of a sudden break out like a Wayne Rooney might have done back in the day.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like Nwaneri is going to be like the greatest player alive if he steps up. No, but I'm looking at players like Connor Bradley and Kobe Mino who have, they've worked hard to step up to step up where they are, and they've worked day in and day out to get to where they've been, to get that place in the first team. I'm sure a lot of the Arsenal academy players, like Rule Walters, for example, Nwaneri, they've worked really hard to, even get that position on the subs bench, and it would just be nice to get rewarded for that. Because do you know what? I'll be honest, I'd rather give Rule Walters a chance at right back than Cedric, to be honest, because Cedric's going to probably go next year. I'd rather have Walters as a backup than Cedric. I think, I
understand the argument, Posh, and I tried to give you a counter argument on when Nwari did play, when I was talking about a senior player coming on, backing up the younger player coming on with Ethan, but we're sort of diverting away a little bit from where we need to be. What I want to get into just now with John is you've had the result at the Emirates like you have, ending 4-1. I hear a lot of talk, and you mentioned it briefly yourself, about Eddie Howe and his future at the club. You go on to play Blackburn Rovers in the FA Cup, I believe, in midweek. What are your thoughts on how Eddie's doing as a whole? Obviously, he got you into Champions League for this season. What are your hopes and what you're thinking for you to move on for the season?
Yeah, for me, we're still in the FA Cup against, we've got Blackburn tomorrow night, and that's the game we need to win. And I expect us to win comfortably. But I've seen social media saying if he loses tomorrow and we get beat off Wolves on Saturday, which is quite a possibility, then I heard that he could be under pressure, which is a bit nonsense because Eddie's got credits in the bank for me. I think he's a cracking manager. I really like him. And I'm going to back this guy all the way. But for me, I mean, who else is out there to take his place? Number one. Secondly, right, why are people qualifying his heat? Because he's got a Champions League. Yes, he got an early, and he plays some cracking football. Now, I've heard people saying that he's what was like a Bournemouth, it's going to happen in Newcastle. It starts well, and then it just goes wrong at this moment in time. But I hope we win tomorrow, and I hope we beat Wolves on Saturday. Yeah, but if you have a go at Eddie, the fans will jump on you like a rash. But some people want him gone. Some people say he's got credits in the bank. I'm on the credits of the bank side. And for me, I always get people on my channel and on social media saying, John, Eddie Howe's not the man to lead us, take us to the next level. Yeah, you need to speak to other managers like Nagelsmann. Yeah, Amorim from Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, De Zerbi from Brighton. and go for the elite manager. You want to go to the next level, right? You can't go Champions League and then don't qualify for Europe the following season. Yeah, the owners, right, are not here for that. They want the best. They want to be number one. Yeah, what they don't want to see, if you want to go to the next level, right, you don't want to see players like Dan Burn, Sean Longstaff, Miguel Almiron, yeah, Jamal Lascelles to a degree, yeah. Emil Kraft is staying now. He's just on a new deal, right? For me, I'll give it Jeff Hendrick, Paul Dummett, Matt Gillespie, right? Matt Ritchie. There's about 8 players to get rid of very, very quickly, yeah? Out of contract players as well. Get rid of them. Don't offer them new deals, right? Because at the end of the day, Eddie wants to be loyal to these players, yeah? But he needs to be ruthless. That's the only thing I want to see Eddie do, be ruthless. Because if he's not ruthless to them, if he's too loyal to them, right? It pains me to say this, and I love Eddie, by the way, but the owners will get someone else is going to be ruthless, yeah? But I'm Eddie in all day. And
strangely so am I, but it's a different Eddie.
Hope he stays. I know what you hope he stays on.
I've heard some Newcastle fans want Mourinho as their manager.
Oh God, no! Please, no. Yeah, the reason being, right? The reason I want Ozzy in because he's a winner, and that's about it. But if he came to Newcastle, right, then you may as well tarmac Benton Training Centre, and also you may as well the academy may as well just cease to exist because you not play young players. Yeah, that'd be Lewis Marley, goodbye. Yeah, and Anthony Gordon, goodbye. You won't play this kind of players. Simple as that. Yeah, so, I keep Trippier, but. For me, I mean, I think he's finished in English football. I really do think he's finished in English football.
He's past his exploration in English football.
He's 61 now, and I think it's time in English football's up. He's managed, 3 English clubs? Chelsea, United, and Tottenham. Yeah, that's it. And you know what? If he does come back to England, he won't be 10 million a season, 10, 11 million quid a season. And who's going to pay that for a 61-year-old? You know what I mean? There's younger managers out there. Ruben Amorim, if I pronounce his name right, will be a cracking signing as manager. Whoever gets this guy, Portuguese, is on to a winner because he loves play 3-4-3, attacking football, yeah? He likes his wing-backs, not just go forward, but to defend properly as well. They want to have a good touch. They want to play fast football. And you know what? Even if he did come to Newcastle, for example, hypothetically, I'm at the end all day, and he takes over, he'll want a lot of changes at that football club. A lot of changes. And he'll make sure you get them.
Right, so what I think I'll want to do now, just make sure I catch up on everything on the chat. AFC Always is saying to me, put this up, Lee Arteta does not trust the bench and the players on the bench. He's begged to stay, given big contracts and wages. Well, if they were on the bench, it means that he trusts them to a point, I think. I don't think that there's can we argue? Bertie, what you think on this comment here? Do you agree with AFC or what?
Players like he doesn't really want to bring players like Cedric and El Neni on most of the time. Don't blame him, quite frankly. But he has, players like he's played Nelson and Smith Rowe on more often than he usually does. He usually has, but I don't know. The likes of Trossard and Nelson's getting more game time.
Certainly over the last couple of weeks, Posh. Yeah, I think Nelson has certainly.
So I don't know really. I can't really comment on that. I can answer this question though. Who are your favourite players from both sides, Newcastle and Arsenal? Well, my favourite player for Arsenal at the moment is Declan Rice. My favourite Newcastle player is Isak.
I'll go with Isak as well, and I like Bruno as well.
Yeah,
real top quality player.
For me, in a minute, for Newcastle, it'll be Isak. But I'm a massive Joe Willock fan as well. But I do love Isak. I think that guy is fantastic. And for Arsenal side, I mean, I'll go with Declan Rice as well because I tell you what, this guy's made a huge difference in the Arsenal midfield. And all you need now is a killer. You need a killer up front, a striker up front. Ivan Toney would be perfect.
It could happen. It could happen. I expect to speak up, Bosh. We want Isak. Right. Without trying to upset our guest, Posh. Look, I with Tony, I expect a bit of a bidding war. That's for sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Certainly one to look at in the summer. That's for sure. Gentlemen, I think we've come to a point where I think we've really covered everything that we need to do right now. John, what have you got coming up on your channel over the next week or so, mate?
Okay, well, thank you so much for having us on. It's been an honor to be on your channel, finally. And hope it's many more times, so that'd be amazing. What we've got coming up, tomorrow I'm at Blackburn, so I'm doing the match day vlogs again. Hopefully I'll get another 10,000 views, hopefully. And whether I'll get that again, I don't know, but that'll be my niche in a minute. And so I'll be doing that Wednesday. Hope we're doing a match review, hopefully, if I get time. If I don't, I've got a special show coming up on Thursday. I was still waiting for her to come on my show on Thursday. Alice Abrams, big Man United fan. So I'm going to get her on there. If I can get her on live, that'd be amazing. We're going to talk about Newcastle and the team United as well. And we're going to talk about a bit of Eddie Howe too. And on Friday, match preview as well. And I'm doing another vlog on Saturday against Wolves. I'll be at Wolves, so I'm going to be quite busy. So, and I had someone today, right, quickly. I had someone on the DM today, right? I mean, he's a great guy. Love him to bits, yeah? He said on a DM, right, and he's a great guy. You might be listening to us now. His name is Billy. Big up to you, Billy. He said, mate, I'm really pleased to see you're getting great views figures for your match day vlogs. I'll concentrate on those more than your regular shows from now on. And you found your niche and it clearly works. Ease back on your studio stuff because you're not getting enough rewards for them. And you know, everyone's got an opinion. I love the guy, right? And
I thought you've been magnificent today.
Yeah, I think I've done all right. I've done all right. I mean, today. And you know, but he looks out for us as well. He's a great guy. And listen, everyone's got an opinion. I respect that. And it's just because the thing is that they've got loads of Newcastle channels as well, which is huge. Okay, I'm not the biggest that, you know, even though I've got over 7,000 views and I've had extra 60 today, let alone, which I think is cool. But I just got to keep going. Just keep going. Just keep plugging away and rewards will be there. So, yes, that's what I'll be doing this week. And then I'm going to cut it down a bit.
So if any of John's viewers are watching us on his channel would kindly give us a bit of a like and subscribe to our channel at Gooner Gathering as well. Just help us build up. We're only a small little channel, but we are working our way up to the 300 subscribers mark. And we're very happy with what we're doing, aren't we, Posh?
Yeah. I'm just going to go through the comments because it's very busy. A fit Isak will be better than Ivan Toney, but you're talking 150 million. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather someone like Toney, Isak, or Ollie Watkins rather than Victor Osimhen because they've got Premier League experience. And
Osimhen hasn't. Osimhen hasn't.
Osimhen hasn't, exactly.
Nah, he plays Napoli, Italy. Napoli.
Yeah, I know. But that's why I said Toney, Watkins, etc. They've got Premier League experience.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I think it's Osimhen.
No, I know. Reports coming out that, Isak is going to get injections and in the summer he'll get a surgery to stop the injuries. Okay. Hopefully Thomas Partey needs that.
You need him back.
Yeah. Hopefully he will be back as soon as the Sheffield United game next week, fingers crossed. Arsenal absolutely battered us. If you play like that every week, you guys will be fine. Let's hope so. It's what we need to do. Arsenal in the first half were almost unplayable. I agree.
Yeah, great.
Can I also say, with the set piece goals, that's now 18 in one season. What's the name of our set piece coach again? Is it like Jova, someone like that? because
something like that.
Nicholas Jover, or because he has done an amazing job.
I
with
will
us
get his
at
name
Eastern.
for us on our next stream, Posh. All right, I promise you that.
If Arteta doesn't win the league title or Champions League, we give him another 200 million in the summer and another 50 million in January. The first manager to have spent Arsenal £1 billion. $1 billion. Yeah,
It's a different generation, isn't it? Thank you. H has got the name there.
Nicholas Jover.
His name is Nicholas Jover. Yeah, where would Arsenal play Partey, I presume, when he's back? Midfield, Partey, Rice, Odegaard. That sounds like a lovely midfield. And you got, if Jorginho with his form as well, as Coventry put the game to bed, Maidstone have been humbled. And anyway, where was I? Jorginho in his form, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, that's a decent midfield. So, yeah, I think he'd... it's been the midfield I've been calling for, Partey, Rice and Odegaard.
This person over here thinks Partey's going to have a heck of a job trying to get back into the Arsenal side. That's what I think.
Well...
I mean, look, there are reasons because of that, but I don't want to go into any of that stuff.
I'm just merely talking on playing side is all I'm thinking of, because of what Rice and Jorginho have achieved over the last little while. I personally, look, you mentioned it a little while ago, Posh, with the Porto game, the away leg. I certainly would have had Jorginho in just to help Rice out in the midfield. Away leg in the Champions League. That is just my preference, because I think we play better with a little bit of extra protection. But there you go.
It's important to have good depth in the midfield, though.
It's definitely a big pen and not a crack pipe. Yes. I mean, I've never had a comment like that in my stream in about 2.5 years of doing YouTube. So thank you very much for that. Gentlemen, I think that will just about call it for us for this evening. So before we sign out for the evening, one more time, John Sinclair, would you kindly give your social media plug and tell them where they can find your channel, please?
Fantastic. Again, thanks so much for having us on. That'd be fantastic. And I'm really enjoyed it with your show tonight. It's been fresh. It's been fantastic, fun. And you know what? It's just so amazing. So if you follow us on John_NUFC42 on Twitter, and if you like to follow us on YouTube as John Sinclair TV, and I'll do all contents as well. But my specialised now is going to be vlogs now. I'm going to do more vlogs as well as usual, and little vlogs, which would be fantastic. And so if you just follow us on that, I'm also on Instagram, John Sinclair TV. Also on YouTube, like I said, Facebook, the same. Yeah, just hit us up. But if you find us on there, like I said, YouTube and X, I'll be on the most for Insta. Not a lot, but I do go on it sometimes. But hey ho, I'm in, and the fans on it.
John, you've been an absolute joy to have on our channel tonight, mate. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, mate. I really appreciate it, man.
Let's right up to Bertie, mate. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at PoshBertie. My Instagram is at Bertie Wanless, and I also run Goonie Gatherings Instagram account. Before, actually, quick question for John. Did you see Yankuba Minte balling out for Feyenoord in the Eredivisie? He has scored 5 goals and 2 assists in 17 matches.
I don't watch the Eredivisie League, to be honest with you, but if it's on there, I have a quick look at it as well. But you know what? I think he's getting slightly better. He had a tough start, I'm not going to lie. But also that Arne Slot, I mean, he's a really good manager for Feyenoord. He really is. He plays football the correct way, the right way. And I'm glad that Minte is playing under him on season-long loan. 5 goals, 2 assists, 17 matches. Yes, that's not bad for a young lad. He will get better. He scored twice in this last game. And you know what? I mean, if he comes back to Newcastle at the end of the season, I just hope that he plays at Newcastle next year. I believe he will. I truly believe he will. I wouldn't mind him taking Miggy's place if given a chance. And I think he could surprise a few people.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that. My pen is getting a bit of attention here, which is quite interesting. Yes, it has the little hole in the middle as well. So it's what you all want. There you go.
Oh, doing the Trossard celebration there.
Exactly what I'm doing, sir. Exactly what I'm doing. Just to finish up on the social medias, of course, you can find me at Goonly Mead. You can find us all on the channel at Gooner Gathering. I also run the TikTok channel as well, where all the funny old little clips go up with all the bits of music going off, more often than not with a wrestling film theme going on in the background. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is us for tonight. Make sure you hit your like button on your way out. Thank you very much. It's been a very busy stream tonight. There's lots of people in the chat as well. So it's possibly one of our busiest ones that we've ever done. So again, thank you very much to our guest, John Sinclair. And we are out of here for now, guys. Take care of yourselves.
Yeah, just like Maidstone in the FA Cup, we're out. I'm an Ebbsfleet fan, by the way, in the non-league. That's why. Anyway, goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.